Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larsen, and you're watching the 5-off-5 on Racing Show and Inravio.com. Welcome to another week of race talk. Hope everybody's doing well. I hate starting the show off with this, but the racing community took another hit, not just one, but two, since our last airing. We have the passing of Ron Bouchard, who passed away last week at the age of 67. The Fitchburg, Massachusetts native competed in 160 Sprint Cup Series events from 1981 to 1987, with one victory, which he had at Talladega in Alabama, and that came in 1981. He was also the 1981 Sprint Cup Rookie of the Year back then. Bouchard gained his experience racing modifieds, winning over 200 events throughout the Northeast. He was also the track champion at Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut in 1973 and 1979. Our prayers go out to the Bouchard family in this difficult time. And the modified series, modified car owner Joe Brady was killed by an alleged impaired driver last Thursday in Stockton, Mass. At his Christmas tree light. He sells Christmas trees, and he parked his car across the street. As he was walking, he was struck by that car and died of his injuries at the local hospital. Joe Brady was 71. Brady always did a lot, as they say, with a little. Over the years with drivers Bugsy Stephen, Leo Cleary, Bob Santos, Steve Park, and Ted Christopher, just to name a few. He was a race car owner for the better part of 5 decades. Joe Brady, I'll tell you, he was one of those quiet guys. Back when I was doing tech on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, I'd go over to his car, and towards the end of my tenure, and he was kind of fading out, but when he was there, he was quiet, he was helpful, he was knowledgeable. And his wife, Linda, was the great people to talk to. Loved seeing him at the races. Down in New Smyrna, he won a championship with Teddy Christopher, the 00. And anytime I see that car number, I'm going to think of Joe Brady. So, again, our prayers go out to Joe Brady and his family as well, and also to the modified community, because the modified community, especially here in the Northeast, is like a family, and we're there for each other. And I know when my dad passed away, he was buried on Friday, and instead of going and sitting home and moping, I went to Thompson. And when I got to Thompson, series director Ed Cox said, "Joe, we didn't expect you here. We expect you to be, home with your family." And I said, "Ed, this is my family." And it made that at least those first couple of days a lot easier for me, because we're a close-knit group. Even when you're not there anymore, people still call you, people still invite you to things. The modified community is shocked by this tragic event of Joe Brady being killed, and the man still had a lot of life left in him. So, again, our prayers go out to Joe Brady and his family. But it seems like we're at that age where people are going to start, passing away, guys that are my age and gals that are my age or older. And, but when it's a tragedy, it just makes it that much worse. So anyway, speaking of modifieds, the Touring Series banquet was held this past weekend in Charlotte at the Hall of Fame, where all the Touring Series champions were crowned. The NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour crowned Doug Coby. The NASCAR Wheel and Southern Modified Tour crowned Andy Seiss. The K&M Pro Series East was William Byron. The K&M Pro Series West was Chris Iggeston. The Canadian Tire Series was Scott Steckley. The The NASCAR Mexico Series was Ruben Garcia Jr. The Whelen Euro Series was Ander Valerino, and the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series champion was Lee Pulliam. So congratulations to the champions on a job well done. And a lot of people don't realize what goes into winning a championship. Now, as we all know, I never won a championship as a driver, nor as a car owner. I have been involved with teams that won championships. And I'll tell you what, on opening night, you all go there with the dreams and aspirations. This is our year. We're going to make it happen. We're going to win races. We're going to chase points, and we're going to go for it. And usually with some teams by the third or fourth week, it's over. Some by mid-season. But when you're involved with a team that here it is, it's 3/4 of the way through the season, and you're in that top 3 with a shot at winning, or even the point leader, everybody's chasing you, it becomes very focused. And a 4th place finish sometimes is upsetting, or the guy who's near you in points finishes better than you. And I can remember when, one guy who won a championship, when it was all over, I said to him, I says, man, what's it feel like? He goes, the pressure's off. He goes, I was dreading coming to the racetrack. And I was kind of taken back. Dread? What do you mean? He said, because it stopped being fun, because he was expected at this point to win. He was expected at this point to beat the guys that were below him in points, as long as he finished ahead of him. But when he didn't, what's wrong with the car? What's wrong with the motor? And I remember having that talk with this guy, and I sat back, and I was driving home, and I said, wow, I said, you go out and win a championship, and you enjoy it once the dust settles and you get the hardware and you get the checks and you get the accolades and you stand before your peers at the banquet and do your speeches. But up to that point, it was almost like a job. And I remember going through that with a particular driver back in the I guess it was the mid '80s and again, although not part of the team, in the late '90s as well. So it becomes difficult. Because now you can taste, and then when you've had one, what do you got to do next? You got to get 2. And it becomes not fun anymore for some competitors. Some, they realize, hey, it's not my year. Or, you get the guy who's, and I call it the big fish in a little pond, who continually wins races and championships in and I don't want to say lesser division, because I don't want to downplay any one division, whether you're the feature division driver or I'll say the lowest paid division at the racetrack, for a better way to look at it. And when you look at that, when you sit back and say, here's a guy, maybe he's won 5 championships, 4, whatever it was in that series. Maybe being the big fish in the little pond, it's time to move up. And I'm not picking on any single one person or entity or racetrack. It's just, and I think, and I had this conversation with somebody not too long ago, and said, some guys can't afford to move up, and I respect that. And I think I had a little sit down, a little interview / talk with Dennis Freeze on Oval Speed Unlimited in Massapequa, Long Island. That interview will air tonight in the second half of the broadcast, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about. Why certain guys and gals don't move up or move to other divisions, better paying divisions. And A, they're having fun. And B, they don't have the money. It's very expensive to go racing for those who don't understand the cost and what's involved with operating a race team. And just think, when you go to your local track, and I've been to a lot of tracks, and the pit fees vary anywhere from $30 to $40. So let's just call it $40, because some are even higher. And so you're paying $40 to get in. You got to get maybe 5, maybe 10 gallons of fuel, depending on your division, at $9, $10, $11 a gallon. So that's $100. So you're into it for $130, and you still didn't take your car out of the trailer yet. Then you got to put on a set of tires. That's another $800. Whether it's the lower paying division or the feature division, a set of tires anywhere from $700 to $800. So now you're into this thing for over $900. And every week, it's a lot of money to go racing for a trophy. But you know what? We do this because A, this is what we do, and B, it's our passion. And I've always said this, there's guys that every Thanksgiving weekend, they take that 4-day weekend, they go hunting. the fishermen, they go out fishing every weekend. The guy who has the boat, every night after work, he's going to go out on his boat. Every weekend, he's going to go out on the boat. The golfer gets up 4 o'clock in the morning to get a tee time. You know, the person who plays tennis, the runner. My son was a runner in high school, ran in the Milrose games, the Penn Relays. And, you know, he would run like 4 miles to warm up, just to warm up and loosen up. And I always thought that was kind of crazy, but you know, that was his passion. Everybody has a passion. You know, that the photographer will take hundreds and hundreds of pictures and go through them. It's their passion. You know, I see so many people go to racetracks, photographers, they go and take picture after picture after picture after picture. And sometimes it's just for their pleasure. Sometimes they give them away. You know, Kevin Basic, Long Line Need for Speed, takes videos of people, and he just hands them to them the following week or the next time he says, hey, I got that video of your race last week. It's your passion. You're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it for money. And and I was talking to Bobby Finan, the announcer at Riverhead Raceway here in Long Island. I was talking to him a couple of Sundays ago at the swap meet, and he says, you know, you know, you do some of these things that we do is for the love of the sport. It's for the love of the sport. We do it because that's what we do. You know, it's like the family who goes to the races every week, sits in the same section of the grandstands every week. You know, knows every car, every driver, you know, who's leading the points, how many wins this one has, how many wins that guy has. They wear their favorite team logos and shirts. So, you know, when you look at that, you know, that's their passion, you know. They're not race car drivers, there's fans, you know. There's fans, there's drivers, and there's the fence grabbers, the ones who want to be race car drivers, but just for whatever reason aren't. So when you're looking to look at that, you know the passion of what we do, a lot of people don't understand that, and a lot of people say you're crazy. And I was just talking to somebody just the other day at work, and we were talking, and he says, he goes, I can't see sitting there watching cars go in a circle. Lap after lap, minute after minute, sometimes for hours. I can't do that. And I said to him, did you ever go to a race live? Did you ever go see a live race? No, never did that. I says, it's a whole different experience. Plus, you don't know anybody. You don't know who to watch, who to follow. You don't have a fan that you're a fan of, a driver you're a fan of. And when you look at that, and the guy says to me, he goes, you know, you're right. I says, you know, think about, you know, watching golf. Do you play golf? Yeah. Do you watch on TV? No, never. Same thing. If you're a participant, it's a whole different feeling, a whole different outlook. And at the end of the day, when you're done doing what you do, and you walk out, and you might be griping, the golfer might be all upset because he, you know, hit 4, 5, 6 balls into the woods or into the water. But you know, at the end of the day, when he looks back and he sits at the ninth, I call it the 19th hole, where you go and have a couple of, you know, cocktails with the folks that you're playing with, or some just other folks who played. And when you sit there and you're talking about the good stuff. You're talking, the one that was this far from the pin is, you know, and by the time you're done with the story, was this far from the pin. Or the guy who went fishing, you know, the fish was this big, but it was actually this big, and he had to throw it back. We all do it. It's for the passion. You know, like the guys, I could have won that race. 2 more laps, it would have been mine. You know, I love hearing that, and I don't mean that facetiously. I do. I love it because it's the passion. It's the passion of the sport that we do, and I've been involved with this sport a long time, and I've seen guys come. I've seen them go. I've been here and I've been here, and a lot of drivers, they've been here and they've been here. But what happens is they keep coming back, and they keep coming back year after year. And some guys, when they realize, you know what, my driving days are over, maybe they go help a team, maybe they go become a car owner. But they realize, you know what, the parade's passing me by, it's time to do something else. Some go on to become officials with the knowledge that they have, and they share that knowledge with newer officials and some of the race teams and talk to them. And I always said the best official that you could have at any racetrack, at any level, is a former driver, because they understand the passion, they know how to play the game, they know how to bend the rules. And we'll be back.
Hey, this is Chris Less Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop in Mastic has everything you need to give the gift of music this holiday season. Electric guitar packages with a guitar, amp, bag, and strap for only $129. Acoustic guitar packages as low as $79. Full-size 5-piece drum set package starting at $299. And all holiday packages come with 2 free private lessons. Gift cards available. Village Music Shop of Mastic. The best prices and personalized service for over 45 years. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE and visit villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, we're Bruce and Disco from the Glory Days Show on the Inravio TV network.
Wishing you and yours a happy holiday season.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Russ Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
We're back, broadcasting live from Inravio's Studio C here in New York. Welcome back. Well, last week we had talked about the new Riverhead Raceway and some of the changes that were going on, and the day after, I believe, that we broadcast, they had to go to a hearing, the owners and management of Riverhead Raceway. The town issued a stop work order stating that the raceway needs permits before going through to improve the aesthetics of the property. Now, I didn't think you needed permits, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the town or anything, but, you know, the town of Riverhead, but if you, any business that you might have, if you want to put up a new fence, you shouldn't need a permit to do that. And one of the things that were questioned, there was 2 trailers / mobile homes, one that somebody actually lived on the property for years and years and years, that were on the property, but they were dilapidated, they were falling apart, they were just an eyesore, and in fact dangerous. So they pulled them away, and and for some strange reason or other, a fence was attached to that, so the fence came down. So of course you got to replace the fence, and all of a sudden the town issues this stop work order and saying that you can't do that. You need permits. Now, unless those, and correct me if I'm wrong. Now, you have a trailer on your property. Think about a company that deals in trailers, modular homes, whatever. They're on wheels. They're not permanent structures. You don't need permits. You know, I could see UPS going to the town of every facility that they operate in and say, all right, we have a trailer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're to move that trailer. We need a permit to move. You don't need a permit for that. And I think this is just the town's way of trying to squeeze the racetrack again. And when I say again, this has been an ongoing issue with the town forever. And why towns, you know, and I'm not just talking on Long Island, but, you know, some of these towns across the country where these racetracks are, and I know the racetracks need to be neighbor-friendly, which the new ownership is. And I know racetracks, when I say the new ownership here on Long Island, but when you have to be town-friendly. So why would the town try to stop something, that it's not functioning every single day. It's operating maybe 20, 23, 25 times out of 52 weeks. So basically, you know, a 5-month period. And the revenues that are generated from this entertainment venue, the taxes that are collected and paid from this venue, why would the town want to break shoes like that? Why is the town doing that? And you know, again, I don't understand. You know, you take down an old dilapidated fence, put up a new one, and you need a permit. I couldn't. I went through the town ordinance. I couldn't find anywhere that said that. Like I said, the trailers that were on the property, they had wheels on them. You know, maybe the tires were flat, and maybe they were there for a long time, and maybe they were there illegally, but they needed to be moved. And here you are trying to spruce something up that's on a main corridor in Long Island, in Riverhead. It's on a main 4-lane highway. Wouldn't the town want the people who pass by and the stores that are in the area and the car dealerships, wouldn't they want that when somebody goes through and say, wow, that's a nice looking place? No, what they're gonna do is they had this stop work order. Now, I was unable to get a hold of anybody to see how the hearing went, and I haven't seen anything posted anywhere or news articles to what was going on, and I'm sure that was postponed pending an investigation. But you know, when I was there a couple of weeks ago at the swap meeting, walking around, and Eddie Partridge let me walk around and kind of look at everything, take some pictures and whatnot, you know, it appeared to me that all they did was re-side or reface the buildings that were there, that were painted that red from the old Winston Racing Series days where Winston provided red paint to all the tracks that were in the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series. And they were the same color since I started going to Riverhead Raceway in 1973, and they were red then. Now they've been faced with, you know, nice wood, nice siding, some aluminum soffits and all that. And why do you need a permit for that? Do you need a permit when you put vinyl siding on your house? Do you need a permit when a business the building looks like garbage and they reface the building? No, it's not a construction job. It's just, you're painting, you're putting up paneling, you're changing a window. I just hope this isn't what's to come, because you know there's big plans for this facility with the new ownership and the new management and working together to make this happen. And you know, and I just don't understand it. It's just not right when you see and hear stuff like that. You know, I mean, here's a man and his wife, Eddie and Connie Partridge, spent a lot of money to buy that facility that's been operating, you know, for years and years and years. And yeah, there was always little tuggles with the town and always a little nonsense going back and forth, but they never stopped them from doing anything other than when they built that press box. And it was back, wow, early 80s, I believe, was the press box and the announcer's booth and the scoring room and everything, and a little storage unit. And they did that without permit. Yes, that needed to be done. That needed permit. But to fix anything up, I think that's somebody playing games, and somebody would have been better. But that's just my opinion. And I'm sure that between the management and the ownership of the racetrack and the powers to be, that they'll be able to get this all solved and fixed. And when opening day comes around, it's going to look the way it's supposed to look. Yeah, anyway, hey, this past Saturday, Kyle Petty married the executive director of his annual charity motorcycle ride, Morgan Castano. Now, a lot of people didn't know that Kyle and Patty Petty divorced quite some time ago. In fact, in 2012, Patty was ousted from the board of the Victory Junction Gang camp in North Carolina, a camp she co-founded with Kyle for the chronically ill children in memory of their son Adam, who lost his life at New Hampshire Motor Speedway some years ago. It was very quiet, it was very private, that him and his wife split up. And Patty Petty does have some health issues. She's suffering from Parkinson's disease. And that's not why she was ousted from the board. My gut feeling, and not being on the inside, but my gut feeling is, here you're husband and wife, you've started this camp, you built this up, you brought in funds, and you did it together as a husband and a wife in memory of your son. Now you're not husband and wife anymore. And it's kind of difficult to work together. And that happens in a lot of marriages where they're in business together. Sometimes the business has to fold, sometimes somebody has to be bought out. But I only wish Patty Petty well with her health. But Kyle, as he put it, he married his soulmate, and he's very happy. And obviously they met on the charity ride because she was the executive director of that ride. So I wish Kyle and his new wife, Morgan, many years of happiness. But a lot of people, they didn't know he was divorced. You know what? He kept it quiet. It was nobody's business. And I say this to people. People say, why don't you talk? Because it's none of their business. Your personal life is your personal life. You're going to share that with those who need to know. He didn't need to go and on social media and get on network TV and say, "Oh, Patty and I are divorced now." He didn't need to do that. His kids are grown, they're older. Again, I wish Kyle well. I know Kyle. I've had many conversations with Kyle at different racetracks over the years, and there's no better fan-friendly guy than Kyle Petty. And he's been out of racing as a driver for a lot of years now. And there's a quick little story about Kyle Petty. I had worked in Greensboro, High Point, actually, North Carolina. My condo was in Greensboro for quite some time back in the mid-90s. And a friend of mine came to visit, and I said, you know what, I want to take you to the Petty Museum. Right there on Level Cross. I've been there a couple of times, so we get in the car and we go. We get there, and the doors are locked, the gate's locked. I'm like, The sign on the door says the hours. I'm like, wow, I don't understand this. I mean, I'll call the number and see what they say. As I'm dialing the number on my cell phone, this Mercedes sports car pulls up, and it's Kyle Petty. He goes, hey, what's going on? I said, Kyle, I've been here 100 times. My friend here has never been here. I wanted to show her the place. He goes, oh, no, dude, we just moved it. It's over in Randleman. So he gave us directions to get to the new place, which wasn't that far. He gave us directions. And when we arrived, the lady at the front desk window / where you pay says, are you the people who were just over at the race shop? I said, the old race shop. I said, yeah. She goes, oh, Kyle said to expect you. Here's your tickets again. And I can reach my pocket. She says, no, it's on Kyle. And that's just the way, that's the type of guy he was and still is, God forbid. And, but the whole family is that way. The Petty family is that way. I met Lee Petty many years ago while working down there. Richard Petty, I've had conversations with. Richard Petty is just a down and out normal guy. I mean, and I sat at the back of his trailer eating bologna sandwiches and Coke. You know, because that's, official soft drink in NASCAR, so we couldn't drink Pepsi. So we had to drink Coca-Cola. And sat there, and he talked to me like he knew me for 100 years. So again, some good news for Kyle Petty and his new wife, Morgan. And again, I wished him well. And it's, it doesn't get caught up into that fanfare stuff, and none of that social media. So anyway, Victory Junction Gang is still going strong at all. Although in today's economic times, they're not getting any of the donations that they once used to get. They still get, don't get me wrong, it's still functioning, and the children are still living out their lives here. But it's not the same, so I'm going to put in a plug for the Victory Junction Gang. If you have a couple of shekels you want to send down there, Google them, go online, Victory Junction Gang, help them out. It's all good. Some of these kids, it's the last things that they're going to enjoy and see. And I know many of the drivers in all of the series all contribute, all help out, and It's in the memory of Adam Petty, who, like I said earlier, who passed away from injuries sustained at a crash at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway while practicing. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to come back with an interview that we recorded a couple of weeks ago of Dennis Freeze, owner of Oval Speed Unlimited, when we come back.
What's up, guys? We're Scano Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
Village Music Shop in Mastic has everything you need to give the gift of music this holiday season. Electric guitar packages with a guitar, amp, bag, and strap for only $129. Acoustic guitar packages as low as $79. Full-size 5-piece drum set package starting at $299. And all holiday packages come with 2 free private lessons. Gift cards available. Village Music Shop of Mastic. The best prices and personalized service for over 45 years. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE and visit villagemusicshop.com.
Hey everybody, this is Kyle.
I'm Frankie.
And we here at Inravio TV Network are wishing you and yours a very happy holiday season.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Russ Well. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
For over 60 years, Hansen Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hansen Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansenCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hansen Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, welcome back. We are back. Hey, for those of you who are in the chat room, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't see it today. So I apologize for that, but that's all right. I'm sure you guys are making fun of me and having a few laughs at my expense, and that's what I'm here for. But anyway, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to go into Oval Speed Unlimited. Dennis Freeze spent some time with us talking, and we have that interview, parts of it anyway, here right now. This is Joe Larsen with the 505 Racing Show at Inravio.com. I'm standing here in the backstretch of the new Riverhead Raceway, taken over by Eddie and Connie Partridge. Improvements are well underway. The improvements started as soon as the last event ended. I'm standing here with Dennis Freeze, owner of Oval Speed Unlimited here in Massapequa. Dennis, thanks for letting us into your shop and chat with you.
No, thanks for coming.
Dennis, I've known you for a long time, and I always wondered what got you into the parts business.
I raced myself for 12 years. Always appreciated what the speed shops did for what I did when I raced. And I felt like that's something I wanted to do.
Well, we know Dennis Freeze is around there with giving people parts and letting them pay them off over like the 10-year plan, were they?
Well, The guy I bought this business from helped guys like myself. So I'm just repaying the favor.
Now, you said you raced for 17 years. Where did you start racing and when did you start driving?
12 years. 1970 to 82 at Freeport.
Okay. And what were you in, the late models, street stocks? What?
Started on a Freeport modified, and then when NASCAR came, it was too costly, and went to a Freeport late model.
Okay. Now, at one point you decided, like you said, this is too expensive. I got to do something else. How did you get into this business?
One of my sponsors, which was Ridge Runner Speed, was selling out. And it was a fit. I bought his circle track part of his business, brought it here, and the story's been written.
Standing in front of the new concession stand that was put together here in turn 1 of Riverhead Raceway, and what you'll notice here is these windows are taller. These boards come down obviously because the other ones in the old days were like here. You actually had to bend down to talk to the person to make your order. These windows are a lot bigger. There's lighting up above to make it really bright, and as you see, it's a lot bigger than the old one that was here back in the past. There we are again, another improvement that you'll see here at the new Riverhead Raceway. A new ticket booth here in the, I guess this would be the north ticket window. A nice little building here that was put in for people to come and buy their tickets. I'm sitting up in the grandstands between turn 1 and 2 at Riverhead Raceway. I'm sitting in the spot that my old buddy WJ sat with his racenews.com people. These seats will be empty in 2016. At least they won't be here with Walter and the gang. As you can see, the My Race News stickers are on the seats. When I was walking up the stands to do this, I thought it was going to be real easy. But I'm sitting here, and just brings back good memories. And for that, I got to thank WJ. You know, the few times I came and sat here with him, it's not going to be the same. But WJ, you'll be missed. Your My Race News stickers are all over the place here. This is your section of the racetrack. This is where you watch the races each and every Saturday night for more years than I can remember. WJ, rest in peace. You'll be missed. Wow, I didn't expect that part of it to be there, so I want to thank the production crew for doing that. As you saw, we walked around the new Riverhead Raceway with some of the improvements, and it's really looking good. The place was looking good. Unfortunately, I got that stop work order, and hopefully they can get that ironed up and get it going. But Dennis Freeze was doing this for a long time. And one of the things that we had talked about were how many of the drivers, and he doesn't just do Riverhead Raceway, he also does the Wall Stadium Speedway down in Wall, New Jersey. He has 2 parts trucks, one at each one. He was at the Turkey Derby with both of his trucks, his Wall Stadium truck and his Riverhead truck as well, parts truck. And what it was, the reason for that, there were a lot of Long Islanders who went to the Turkey Derby. So he was there helping his customers. The Wall Stadium regular guy was there helping his customers, although they were all oval speed customers. You know, when you go to, and I know when I was racing and when I owned race cars, you know, I could go to Dennis, I go, Dennis, I need this, how'd you know? That's my job. And that van, and I'll tell you what, I don't know, he knows exactly where everything is, and I guess he should, because that's the business he's in. But he has just about everything on that truck to get you through a night of racing, whether you bend up a Nerf bar or a bumper or whatever. He has it there. Whether your radio goes crazy or haywire, he can get you going with that. Whatever you need from Dennis at Oval Speed. And the best thing about Dennis, and I know, like I said, I know him a long, long time. And we didn't always see eye to eye with a lot of things, especially in the beginning when I became an official. But you get past that. It's all about the business and your passion for the business. But there's a lot of teams that probably would not be racing if it were not for Dennis Freeze at Oval Speed. And when I say that, a guy needs some parts to get his car going, and you know what? Here you go. You pay me off. And those competitors pay him off. I mean, sometimes it's every night he stands by the payoff window because, you know, here on Long Island they pay in cash at the end of the night. So he'll sit there with his little clipboard. It's a big clipboard, and Irv Yachts, what do you got for me tonight? I got 100. Here you go. Thanks, man. And he checks it off. And there's not too many places you're not going to the local parts store or the local speed shop and being able to do that. And I asked Dennis, and I says, have you ever been beaten? I knew he was, and he said, yeah. There's some people that have taken him down the road and not paid, and you know what? It doesn't dishearten him from helping the other competitors. I myself had the opportunity. You need something in a pinch, boom, here you go. And then you stop by during the week and you pay it, or you make a payment plan with him. As long as, and him and I talked about it, as long as you're making an attempt, then you're good to go. So on behalf, and I had said this to Dennis, on behalf of all the car owners and competitors here on Long Island and in New Jersey and the surrounding area, because he does have a mail order business. Long Island is a move away. I want to thank you, Dennis Fries at Oval Speed Unlimited, for what you do for the racers, and not only what you do for the racers, because it's a whole big circle, because what you do for the racers is good for the fans, is good for the racetrack. And it's just a circle. It's without this part, you can't have this part. See, Mark Arut told me, without race cars in the pits, you don't have fannies in the seats, and without fannies in the seats, you don't have a racetrack. And that's what it's all about. It's all about everybody working together. And Dennis is a member of the Ernie Maynor Memorial Safer Hall of Fame. I had the privilege a couple of years ago of presenting him with his plaque. And he was in shock over that. He did not expect it. And he had to be told ahead of time because he was not going to that bank. Why would I go to that bank? And when he, so the surprise was gone, but he was still honored to receive that plaque. And he was recognized by the peers, the racers, of putting Dennis Fries in the Ernie Maynor Memorial Hall of Fame. A group that I happened to be a part of, inducted in 2002, and no prouder moment when I got put into there. And I proudly display that plaque when you come into my place, when you come in, and right there, that's one of the first things you see. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the stuff going on in Cup and some other stuff revolving racing throughout the country.
For over 60 years, Hansen Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hansen Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansenCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hansen Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, welcome back. Schedules for the touring series. I had thought that maybe that the NASCAR Whelen modified touring schedule for 2016 would be out because they had the bank, and usually that's what happens. And when it doesn't, my past experience tells me there's still a couple of tracks that have agreed in theory, but they haven't signed the contract. But if you go to certain tracks' websites, you'll see that there's some events planned. And I know Seekonk, the Whelen Modified Tour, is going back to Seekonk. They have not been there for quite a number of years. And I remember the first time I went there as the race director, I was like, this is a circle. And the figure eight course in the middle has ramps. No, they did. Whereas they're going up the Oxford Plains also, I believe they're going to. Oswego, they're going to, I believe. So once that schedule comes by, we will definitely talk about it here. And I think it's going to be an aggressive schedule. I really do. And that's a good thing, because the series needs that shot in the arm. The Valenti Modified Racing Series, however, did release their schedule. It's 16 events in their 13th season of operation. They will be going to Monadnock, Stafford, Speedway 51 in New Hampshire, and Monadnock is in New Hampshire, and Stafford, Connecticut, Seekonk in Massachusetts, Oxford Plains in Maine, Claremont, New Hampshire, Lee in New Hampshire, the New London Waterford Speed Bowl in Connecticut, Beech Ridge up in Maine, and of course Thompson, the Valenti Modified Series. Tour type modifieds with a little twist, because the cost to operate a Valenti Modified Race Series Modified is a lot less than a Touring Series Modified, and due in part to the fact that you don't need all these safety things. When I say safety things, I mean the cars have all the safety things, but there's no pit stops. So the crews don't need all the suits and the helmets and the gloves and the shoes and all that pit road equipment, because they don't have pit stops. The licensing is so much less expensive to get a Valenti or MRS license as opposed to a NASCAR license. Why that is, I don't know. I don't know how people come up pricing. I know part of the NASCAR license is an insurance policy, and I understand that. But as a driver, I believe the license is like $400 or more. I don't know what 2016 is going to be. And I believe in the MRS series, the Valenti series, it's only like $100. A crew license on the modified series is, I believe, $350 or $340. A crew license in the MRS series is only like $20. So licensing fees. I mean, you have a crew of 10 guys and gals that are helping you out. For the price of the licensing is a big savings right there. And every event is a one day. You're in the morning, out that night. So there's no hotel expenses. And if you're just listening to that schedule, the races are clustered. They're not going, from New Hampshire to Bristol, let's say. Although the modified series, there's some good racing down there. But what NASCAR needs to realize with the modified series on the NASCAR, the Whelen Modified Series, is these teams and these crews are working people. They can't continue to take off from work during the week to go racing. Yeah, some of the higher funded teams could pay their crews to do that and pay all the expenses, but there are teams on the Whelen Modified Series, and I'm not making this up, I'm not exaggerating. There are teams that have their 28-foot trailer, tag-along trailer, and when they go to some of these weekend events, they cover the car and they bed down in their trailer because of saving money for hotel rooms. They bring food from home in their cooler, they barbecue and cook on grills and stuff. The higher funded teams, yeah, they're in hotel rooms and 4 guys in a room, whatever it takes. But some of these shows, and being that I did that for such a long time, could be done in one day as well. And I'm not knocking anybody here, please don't get me wrong, but the cost of running a tour modified in the Northern Tour is very, very expensive as opposed to the Valenti Modified Racing Series, and even the Southern Whelen Modified Tour. It's a lot less expensive. So just something to think about. So in talking about modifieds, I was asked to mention this for an old friend of mine. I'm going to do that. On Friday, February 13th, 2016, Bronson Speedway down in Florida will be holding a tour-type modified 50-lapper including on that card for that evening is their regular weekly series team, race teams, and the Legends along with the Bandoleros. So Friday night there'll be a test and tune, and there'll be free overnight parking, a barbecue, and party after practice. Hoosier Tire and Sunoco Race Fuel will be available. And again, the local divisions will also be participating. If you have any questions, give a call to their phone number, area code 352-486-4998. And again, they'll give you all the information you need. So you're on your way to New Smyrna. New Smyrna, they don't open up, it begins on February 11th, but the tour-type modifieds do not race until Sunday, the 14th. And the 9 nights of racing, the modifieds used to run 7. If I looked at the schedule and read it correctly, the modifieds are only 5 nights. So why not take a trip to Bronson? You almost, you're right there. You're right there. Go run it out. I know Ann Young runs a nice, clean facility there. They're fair, and they treat everybody like family there. So go in, say hello, and when you go there to race, tell them that you heard it on Joe's show, the 505 on Racing Show here at Inravio. Be a good event, 50 lapper. Go make it happen, guys. You're going down there. And most of you guys got enough parts to build extra cars anyway, so. And you know what, and if you race with your head, you're not gonna tear up your stuff. So, Bronson Speedway, on your way to Speed Weeks. And it's gonna be part of the Winter Nationals from this day forward, or from this year forward. So, make it a part of your winter trip. Anyway, Sprint Cup news. Chris Bruscher moves from the Xfinity Series to Cup driving for Front Row Motorsports in 2016. And it's a good opportunity for Chris. And also on Friday, an announcement was made at Richard Petty Motorsports that Brian Scott would drive the number 9 car, replacing Sam Hornish Jr. Although no full-time sponsor has been named at this time, those pieces are being put together, and we should know in the next couple of weeks the sponsorship deal. Brian Scott, rumor has it, will bring some of his other sponsors with him as he departs Richard Childress Racing. So we wish Brian Scott well in his new endeavor. And, Sam Hornish, for some reason, it just didn't pan out with him in the 9 car. You know what happens, and when you have a multiple car team, it always seems like one car has the better stuff. And I'm not saying Richard Petty Motorsports did that, because Richard Petty wants to be competitive and he wants to run up front, and you're going to make both cars equal. But there's always one that's a little bit better. Even at Hendrick Motorsports, there was always one or two that ran a little better than the others. So we'll see what 2016 brings. I'm sure a sponsorship announcement will be forthcoming. NASCAR also announced last week that Scott Miller has joined the organization as Senior Vice President of Competition, responsible for officiating across NASCAR's wide portfolio of races. Miller replaces Robin Pemberton, who will assume a still undisclosed new role within the organization. Miller recently served as Executive Vice President of Competition at Michael Waltrip Racing. So I want to wish Scott Miller well in his new endeavor. You kind of wonder when a team breaks up Michael Waltrip Racing, what happens to their people? The good people are going to land on their feet. The people who aren't so good, maybe not. And Scott Miller, he did all he could to make that team successful, and his efforts are being recognized. And not that Michael Waltrip Racing was so successful, but you know what? They had a good season or two, and I think Michael Waltrip Racing needed to be focused on one car. And one of the best things Michael Waltrip did as a team owner was to take himself out of a full-time ride. Nothing against Michael Waltrip. He's a good restrictor plate racer. But you know what? You can't stay focused if you're the driver and the owner. You just can't, in my opinion. So, again, I wish Scott well in his endeavors. What else is happening? Quicken Loans will join Hendrick Motorsports in 2016 on Casey Kane's car. Quicken Loans, a longtime sponsor of Ryan Newman, is moving over to Hendrick Motorsports. Should be interesting with the sponsorship. I'll tell you what, Hendrick Motorsports is a class act, and they seem to attract Fortune 500 sponsors like nobody else can. And it should be interesting what 2016 will bring. because sponsorship money is kind of tight moving forward, and with all the stuff that happened in the financial world over the last few years, a lot of companies are very careful how they're spending their money because there's a lot of eyes looking at it, a lot of eyes. The old, you got a lot of people. You got to answer the shareholders. And a lot of shareholders and a lot of these corporations do not understand the value of sponsoring a race car. And I might have told this story once before, but I'm going to tell it again. When I was working down in the UPS corporate offices, I was talking to the marketing group at lunch or break one day, and I said to them, I says, guys ever think about advertising on a NASCAR top-level race team? Guy looked at me like I had three. He goes, why would we do that? I says, well, first of all, NASCAR fans are loyal to their driver and loyal to the companies that sponsor them. The positive recognition that you'll get when your car is running, the TV coverage, the uniforms, the t-shirts, the hats, the jackets, the stuff that gets sold, emblazons the logo all over these racetracks. Why not do it? So one guy looked at me and he goes, Joe, yeah, that's what we want to attract. A guy wearing coveralls, a stained t-shirt with a hat, chewing on a piece of straw, drinking a beer. And I said, well, you know what? That guy with the coveralls, with a stained t-shirt, wearing a hat, chewing on a piece of straw, spends a lot of money to get parts delivered to his race team. Guy spends a lot of money putting t-shirts on his crew's back and uniforms for his pit road guy. Why not have it say UPS? That's not the clientele we want to attract. Well, I kept at it, and eventually it happened. There we go. And they first went into the Xfinity Series, which was a nationwide series then, and in conjunction with a freight company, and they realized what they were getting. And then they made a deal with Robert Yates and through Ford Motor Company, because UPS was doing a lot of the stuff for Ford down in Kentucky at their Kentucky plant, because the airport is basically owned by UPS. And they three of them met and boom, made it happen. Now UPS has taken a lesser role in racing, in at least NASCAR levels, and is advertising and other things. But the bottom line is that sponsorship, it's so hard to get a sponsor, and it's so easy to have one fade away. And what these sponsors, they want positive recognition, they want coverage, they want their name out there, and they want to see growth in their business, and I want to see a return on that sponsorship dollar. And as long as you could show that, you're good to go. And they'll stay on and stay. Why do you think DuPont stayed on with Jeff Gordon so long? Why do you think that? He ran up front, they ran well, they represented the product, the brand. And the brand is what you're selling. Coca-Cola, big, and official soft drink in NASCAR. Why is that? Right? Of course, they've paid for that privilege, but they keep coming back every year because they're seeing a return on that investment. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm looking at the clock. It's time to wrap up again. I apologize for the chat room. But I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know the holiday season is upon us, and took time to watch the show tonight, and I appreciate that. And those who watch it in the archives, I understand there's a lot of you who are on the archives during the week who don't get the opportunity because you either work Monday nights or there's a hockey game or whatever the case is. I want to thank you as well. So anyway, wherever your endeavors are going to bring you this week, I want you to all have a happy holiday moving forward. Thanks again for being a part of the show. Tell somebody you love them, give them a hug. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week here at Inravio.